guys, it's Mrs. Good. I just wanted to first of all say I miss you guys so much. I wish we were actually at school and seeing each other face to face. But I would hope that these videos will help. Each week I'm going to be sending, if you see me for math, you'll get a math video, and if you see me for reading, you'll get a reading video. If you see me for both, you'll get both. And like I told your parents, these are just little videos that are going to be reviewing things that we've already done in class, nothing new. It's just something to help you practice your skills that you already know. So this is the math video, and we're going to be going over long division and just reviewing those processes. I am outside filming, so if you hear dogs barking, they're mine, and I apologize. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Minimize that. Okay, and we're going to start with long division. So the first problem that I have, I'm going to go over with you. And before we get started, I do want to say if I ever say pause the video, that means that I want you to physically pause your video on your computer, and I want you to either look at something, talk to your parents about something, or I want you to work something out yourself on your own piece of paper. So if you don't have a piece of paper and a pencil already, go ahead and go get those. Okay, so the problem that we're going to go over together is 463 divided by 4. So we're going to go through traditional long division. We're not doing partial quotient. This is the traditional method. So, because that's what we did in my lab. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, so follow my cursor, is we're going to see how many times can 4 go into 4. So think about your multiplication facts. How many times do you multiply 4 by to get 4? So 4 times 1 equals 4. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 1. So I'm going to put a 1 right in here. Oh no, my text box disappeared. Hold on. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 times 1. I'm going to put my 1 up there. And 4 times 1 equals what? 4 times 1 equals 4. So now my next step, after I figured out how many times 4 goes into 4, that's 1, and 4 times 1 is 4. I bring my 4 down here, and my next step is to subtract. Well, what is 4 minus 4? I'm going to grab a text box. Oh, I don't need to do that. 4 minus 4. Sorry, guys, I'm new to this. So 4 minus 4 equals 0. Now that I have that, my next step, I have a 0 there. What is my next step after I've subtracted the first line? I come to my next place over, which would be the 6, and I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to bring my little arrow here, and like we do in class, I have you draw an arrow, and then you're going to bring that 6 down, and I'm going to put that right there. And now we're just going to pretend like that 0 does not exist. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw my little subtraction sign, because our next step is to figure out how many times 4 goes into 6, because now we're looking at this 6 right here. So how many times can 4 go into 6? Well, 4 does not go evenly into 6. So think about your force facts. How close can you get to 6 with your force facts? Well, let's start with 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Can we get closer to 6? Well, let's go to the next one. 4 times 2 is 8. We can't do that. We can't do 6 minus 8. We can't go over 6, so we have to go with the closest one that is less than 6. So we have to do 4 times 1. So 4 times 1, so I put my 1 up here because that's what we're multiplying it by, and then I'm going to put my 4 down here because 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, now my next step is to subtract. So now what is 6 minus 4? I'm going to give you a second. 6 minus 4 is 2. So now that I've done that, what is my next step that I need to do? I've subtracted. What do I go back to? I come back up to the top. I come back to the next place over. We've already done the 6. So now my next place is where the 3 is at. And I'm going to take my arrow. I'm going to make it longer because I'm going to drop it all the way down here. I'm going to bring my 3 down here. Okay, so now I have 23. I'm going to go ahead and make another text box for over here because I'm going to run out of room. Okay, so I'm just bringing my 23 over. It's just pretend the one at the bottom. It's the same thing. I just brought it over so we have room to work out. So now I have 23. Now we need to think about how many times 4 can go into 23. How close can we get to 23? Because 4 cannot go into 23 evenly. So now let's go by our 4's facts. We know that 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. I think we can still get closer. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. So that's really close. Let's see what happens when we do one more. 4 times 6 is 24. So are we going to use 24 or did we go over? We went over. We can't use 24 because it's bigger than 23. So we're going to have to go back to 4 times 5. So we're going to multiply 4 times 5. So I'm going to put my 5 here. And then what did we say 4 times 5 was? 20. So now we're going to do 23 minus 20. So now I'm going to insert, actually I'm just going to drop down here. So my first thing that I need to subtract is 3 minus 0. Well, 3, and I don't take any away, so that equals 3. I'm going to move that over. And then now we need to do 2 minus 2. So I have 2, and I take away 2. So I have 0. Now our last step, do we have any numbers that we need to bring down over here? No, we have no more numbers left to bring down. So our next step then, can 4 go into 3? No, because 3 is less than 4. So this is where we stop. What do we call this number that we have left over? We call it a remainder. So I'm going to come up here and put R, oops, I have to make that longer. R remainder 3. So 463 divided by 4 equals 115 with a remainder of 3. So those are the steps for long division. And if you need to watch this video a couple of times just to remember the steps and to review like what does what, or you can just look at these pictures to help you remember, okay, I need to bring this down. I need to subtract here. I need to multiply here. So the next thing that I have for us, this is where in a second you'll pause the video. On your piece of paper, I want you to work out these two problems. So you have 962 divided by 3, and you have 6,735 divided by 5. So I want you to use the steps that we just reviewed and work out both of these problems using long division. They might have remainders, they might not. So after you have done these two problems, I want you to go through it with your parents and check through it and see if you did all the steps. Remember, if you need help, go back and rewatch the video a couple times or pause it on the last slide after I've finished it all so that way you can see the finished product and look at all the steps after they've been done. If you have any questions, you can always have your parents email me. We can video chat and work through some of these together, one-on-one. We can talk on the phone, just whatever you need, guys. I miss you, and I'm here for you with whatever you need help with, okay? So now I want you to pause the video, and I want you to work out these problems with your parents. And I will talk to you later.